A child named Faisal bin Abdulaziz Al Saud was born in Taifa in 1906. He went on to become the king who changed the history of Saudi Arabia. Faisal was intelligent, serious, and religious from an early age. Only at the age of 13 did he receive political responsibility. His father, King Abdulaziz, sent him on a tour of Europe to gain experience in world politics and diplomacy. The beginning of leadership. Faisal was made foreign minister and then prime minister in 1953 during the reign of King Saud. He proved to be a brilliant administrator. Later, when the country faced economic difficulties and political crises, the people trusted Faisal. The age of the kingdom. In 1964, he became king of Saudi Arabia. King Faisal made major reforms in the country, established a modern education system, emphasis on women's education. The oil wealth was invested in the public interest. Supporters of Palestine. King Faisal has always been pro-Palestinian. In the 1973 Arab-Israeli War, he cut off oil supplies to put pressure on the United States and Europe. The decision shocked the whole world. The Western media began calling him the king of oil. Last time. A tragic day came on March 25, 1975, when King Faisal was assassinated by his own nephew in Riyadh. And not only Saudi Arabia but the entire Islamic world mourned his martyrdom. Memorable personality. Today, Shah Faisal is remembered as a fearless, honest, and Durandish leader. His personality is a symbol of the unity and self-reliance of the Muslim community. Shah Faisal's leadership was evident even before he became king. He was very simple, honest, and strong personality. At a young age, he learned diplomacy and met the world's great leaders. As foreign minister, he brought Saudi Arabia into international politics. The greatest virtue of his leadership was that he emphasized Islamic unity. He wanted Muslim countries to stand as one voice in the world. During the 1973 war, he showed his decisiveness and shocked the West by imposing an oil embargo. This decision was a sign that Shah Faisal was not only the leader of his country, but of the Muslim community, the kingdom of judgment. When he became king of Saudi Arabia in 1964, his personality became even more fractured. He led the country towards economic and social development, modernized the education sector, placed schools for girls, improved the country's oil system, so that wealth is not limited to the royal family but to the benefit of the people. They promote transparency and simplicity in government. Above all, in his kingdom, Saudi Arabia became a guiding center for the Islamic world. The summary is, in leadership, King Faisal was a world-class, courageous, brave, and faithful leader. In the kingdom, he was the architect of Saudi Arabia who put the country on the path of development, education, and unity. The last moments of the judgment. On March 25, 1975, during a meeting in Riyadh, Shah Faisal was shot dead by his nephew. Then King Faisal said, "Hail, hail." They praised God at the time of their death. This is the greatest proof of their personality, that they put their faith above, not worldly power or kingdom. The memorable side. They thought about Islam and the Muslim community until the end. They lived their lives with simplicity and remembrance of God, and they left the world in remembrance of King Judgment. King Faisal was not only the king of Saudi Arabia, but is known throughout the Islamic world as a courageous, honest, and honorable leader. Some of his outstanding personality traits were: 1. Simplicity and humility. Though he was a king, there was no exhibition or display in his life. Eat simple food and wear simple clothes like ordinary people. 2. Integrity and justice. Always prioritize justice in your decisions. Take a strong stand against corruption and injustice. 3. Love of Islam. Islamic teachings were always reflected in their speech and actions. They wanted Islamic countries to unite under one flag. 4. Leader of the Muslim Ummah. The 1973 oil embargo introduced him as one of the strongest Muslim leaders in the world. His support for Palestine is still remembered today. 5. Monumental heritage. Education and development projects are still attached to their names in Saudi Arabia today. People around the world remember him as an honorable, faithful, and fearless king. Summary: the greatest advantage of Shah Faisal's personality was that he lived in the hearts of the people as a servant of Islam and a true leader despite being a king. His memorable personality is a torch for future generations. Narrator: this is the story of a king who was obsessed with simplicity but dared to shake off powerful rulers around the world. This is the story of the great leader of Saudi Arabia, King Faisal bin Abdulaziz. Childhood and beginnings. Narrator: in 1906, a child was born in the Taifa area named Faisal. He was going to be written in golden letters in the history. Faisal was intelligent, courteous, and deeply religious from an early age. At the age of 13, he was given the responsibility of diplomacy. He traveled the world, met great leaders, and learned the mysteries of politics. Leadership. Narrator: Faisal celebrated the iron of his abilities as foreign minister and prime minister. The greatest virtue of his leadership was the desire for justice, truth, and unity of the Muslim community. In the 1973 Arab-Israeli War, King Faisal shocked the world by cutting off all supplies to pressure the West, a decision that made him the leader of the Muslim world. Kingdom. Narrator: in 1964, King Faisal became king of Saudi Arabia. Under his reign, the country took new paths of development. They promoted education, opened schools for girls, used all wealth for public good, and increased transparency in government. During his reign, Saudi Arabia did not remain just one country, but became the center of guidance for the Islamic world. Last time. Narrator: March 25, 1975. It was the day when history took a tragic turn. King Faisal was shot dead by his own nephew. The only words on his tongue were, "Hallelujah, hallelujah." They departed from the world except with the light of faith. Memorable personality. Narrator: Shah Faisal was a king whose simplicity, honesty, and love for Islam made him famous all over the world. He was the leader of the Muslim community, and his life is an example of the true power not in wealth or glory, but in justice and humility. King Faisal is still alive in hearts today. As a fearless, honest, and honorable leader. Shirako was a small Japanese village where the roofs of every house were covered with white snow and the gentle rustling of the river between the mountains. The people of the village had been helping each other for centuries, and their lives were simple but full of joy. One day, the elder of the village, Taro Daichi, announced that he would give the most important thing of his life, an ancient lantern, to the new school in the village. This lantern had been in his family's possession for centuries and was considered a symbol of the safety of the people of the village. Everyone was happy, but it was not easy to take the lantern to school. The road went through mountains and forests, and at every step there was an old story and a challenge. The young man of the village, Akira, dared and decided to take the lantern to school. Along the way, Akira faced not only natural difficulties, but also her inner fears. But at every step she was encouraged by the stories of the villagers and the advice of the elders. Finally, when Akira brought the lantern to the school, the whole village celebrated. The lantern light reminded not only the school, but the whole village of hope and unity. The people of Shirako always remember that true light is what we shine in each other, no matter how difficult life is.